obviously a disappointing afternoon for us. And I think the first thing you got to do is credit Coach Ward, Alabama, the way they played. I mean, they took it to us. And they left no doubts in that second half. So, hats off to them. We knew coming in that this would be the game one on third downs and one at the right zone. Yeah. Those are 2 yards we've been really good at, particularly for offense. And I think on both sides of the ball, we struggled on third down tonight. I think you got to give Simpson a lot of credit for extended plays, conversion downs. And obviously, the 4th and 7 conversion is huge to the first half, led to a touchdown where he's a good player, made more plays than we made tonight on third down. And offensively, we seem to never get rhythm, especially in the second half. So too many 3 and outs, and that allowed them to take the time of possession. That I'm not sure where that ended, but that was not close. We felt the effect of that late. They were able to establish run game, and ultimately wore us out and came away with the win. I think also the red zone performance was challenged too. We had 2 turnovers down there. I felt the defense. I didn't always love the way the ball got down to the red zone, but I felt like the defense fought for every blade of grass and forced field goal attempts and put us in position to kind of stay within one possession until the end there. But we weren't able to generate enough offensively to make that happen. So tough afternoon, and like I told the team, we don't like the feeling, but we earned the feeling, and so now we have to understand why it's been for us, what we need to learn from it. We don't feel like there are any mistakes, and so the plays were out there to be made, and we didn't make them. And so we're gonna learn from it, and we'll be off.
Graham.
Coach, just 9 rushing yards in the second half, 119 total yards in the second half. From your vantage point, do you attribute that more to Alabama's defensive adjustments, or maybe a lack of rhythm, or what do you see from that?
I felt like space was hard to come by. We weren't able to generate the separation in the front that we were. Obviously, we had the early success with Seti's big run, but they played really well up front. And I gotta watch the game film to know exactly why we weren't able to create the space. I thought we had good plays that just got the space got collapsed in line scrimmage. So that was a challenge. There were some critical drops on conversion downs that I think again when you're playing 3 and out. And I don't know how many snaps we had in the second half, but it did not feel like many. When you're playing 3 and out, you're not giving yourself a chance to be explosive, and so it's gonna feel like you can't move quick, right? Because you're not getting to that second set of downs, you're not able to extend, and you're not able to get up, get the defense on the heels, and get the ball up and in the air. So we'll look at the film and learn from it, but obviously the inability to move the ball in the second half kept us from really keeping the game within reach, and ultimately kept us from the result.
Joey?
You mentioned the red zone performance. That's somewhere you guys have been really good before today, and just kind of what you attribute that to, and how uncharacteristic is that of your group?
Well, I attribute it to the turnovers. One was on a rush, one was on the throw, and we'll have to look at it. Yeah, if we're going to make mistakes, obviously in a game like today, those mistakes become critical errors. But yeah, we got to protect the ball down there. We got to come away with points, and I think we're going to be just fine. I don't want to sit here and overanalyze it, because ultimately it wasn't our night, and we didn't play well enough down there. But the turnovers were what, to me, killed our red zone performance. Other than the turnovers, I thought we got down there. If we were able to score 8 times, because good news our offense, but got to be smart with the ball.
Steve?
Clark, you've won a lot putting the ball in Diego's hands and all those turnovers. What did you see specifically from him today? How costly were they to your mission of playing in front in the game?
there's going to be some good and obviously some plays we want back. And I just told Diego at locker room, there's no one else that wants running quarterback to take the snap. So, you know, the one turnover, the fumble, and we're going to look at the ball security element of that and just these extended play. I believe the defender came from the blind side. We were taking his hand with the ball. The throw, you know, to me felt a little forced. You know, trying to make a play, press to make a play. But all that stuff, we look, you know, we got everything we want out in front of us. We have a good team, and that team held the line, didn't play well enough to win tonight, and obviously that last score burns because, you know, it feels bad, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, we like our team. We got to learn from tonight. Tonight was meant for us, so we accept the pain of it, and we learn to move on. And, man, I'm not glad Diego Pavia started working, so that hasn't changed.
Is that true?
Yeah. Mark, how big do you think it was for the break to try just the way I get half talking as quickly as they did here? And then coming out of the locker room, would you like to see or admit that you know I've run all there and this sort of stuff was your eyes?
Well, the end half score was tough. To your point, and I felt like we had just gotten back rhythm offensively. You know, from the first turnover, I think we were stalling out a little bit. Defense held the line for us. You know, we scored to go up 14-7, and it's almost like, you know, there's an opportunity there for us to drain the clock out maybe, but we scored quick. They were out of timeouts at that point, and so we scored quickly. A minute 30 left, and you know, I felt like we absorbed some yards through that. Obviously, the touchdown pass was a chunk play. We needed to get a chance to get them off schedule without timeouts. You know, pressure on the quarterback or a sack makes it really hard for them to function. We just weren't able to do it. Well, that was a big moment, but again, Gentry, to me, you come into half at 14-14 with possession come out in the second half. We had done what we needed to do to hold serve there. Now, I mean, it's our game coming out. We got to go drive and score. And in that first drive, I'm pretty certain we were 3 and out.
I think you got one first down.
One first down, right? It was 4 and out. And I believe there was a drop in there too. So I think they were able to load the box up, and they made running space really hard. We needed to hit some of those plays that we missed on to be able to kind of loosen the box up and give us a chance. And then once we got 2 scores behind, we had to commit to throw the ball. And I was not pleased with the penalties at the end too. I thought it was dumb football. You know, we got to play smarter than that. And so you look at all those things, and hey, we have a good team, but we're not good enough to play the way we played on third down, particularly offensively, to play the way we played in the red zone. And there are real lessons for us, and those are things we can correct too, because those are execution areas. So, you know, what is our leverage defensively? How are we covering the routes? I think on one of the conversions, our inside leverage player fell down and they completed a thing on 2-man. You know, that shouldn't happen. So, you know, we'll study it. We'll find ways to get better.
Last row with the lady. Shane Cooper, Heavy Dust Team 4. Felt like you guys were kind of owning the line of scrimmage offensively in the first half. How do you feel like that changed in the second?
Well, yeah, I mean, space was hard. I felt like they were able to. Like, we had some good plays. One, I remember we were 2-9 technique running a quarterback last play. It felt like we had the leverage. The play was made from the backside. It was someone who won their point of attack, and they were able to get the backfield. So I think you have to credit Alabama for the way they played up front. I think that's the first thing. Those guys beat us on both sides of the line of scrimmage, particularly in the second half. And then, you know, we got to look, you know, schematically and tactically, what are the ways that we need to play the ball in space, and how could we have fouls to play? They could have unlocked some rhythm offensively that allowed us to get the ball again in the air. But, you know, a credit to them, and we'll know more about the specifics of the play to watch the.
Aria, last question to Billy.
Yeah, what did you see on that overturned scoop and score play that died?
I saw that he was down with Rachel being. I thought I appreciated the fact that the leg up, you know. But they got they got it right. They returned it. You know, again, break that one up. I mean, you know, you feel like they were able to get 2 turnovers. We were able to get one turnover short. It's just like everything was just a little short of where we needed to be to win a game. And we have a good enough team to win a game like that. We did not play well enough tonight to get that.
Last one to Billy.
Coach, what did your defense show you tonight? Obviously, Simpson had some chunk plays through the air, but what did you like positively, negatively, especially heading into a bye week, specifically on defense?
I mean, I love the way we fought. I thought, again, they had 3 field goals in the game. Missed one. You know, that's going to win you games. You're able to force field goals in drives. I felt like sometimes we conceded some space to them, and they were able to find the space. Again, I credit their quarterback for staying alive in the pockets. Sometimes those are like off rhythm throws where, you know, we're in zone coverage, and as the play extends, because our rush has been negated, someone's going to run open in his zone, you know, and so you have to give him credit. I think that's what makes him a really good player, and he's been kind of stepping into this rhythm and chemistry here lately. It's helping to perform at a high level offensively, but he played better than we rushed tonight, and we'll have to look at those things and find ways to improve, whether that's adding someone into the rush, you know, how are we attacking protections. Yeah, we'll look at it. I love the resilience in the defense outside the last touchdown. I did not like that, but I don't think it was for lack of effort. I thought they were resilient tonight. I thought they kept us in it when we were stalling out offensively, and we just didn't have enough there to finish to get a score and to make it interesting.